Hi, everybody, or anybody who's watching. Uh, this is a recording I did yesterday of a flight from a short flight, relatively, from Holland, Michigan to O'Hare International in a Beechcraft Baron twin-engine plane, and taking off from Holland, flying down the Michigan coastline before heading out um, across the lake to O'Hare to land on runway 27L, which is heading due west, 270 degrees. And as a change, I'm doing this voiceover in post production, I guess it is, in editing. And if you think the air traffic control is in an echo chamber, you're right, because when I started to fly and record this video, I didn't turn off the mic in the webcam, which I wasn't using. So it recorded the my voice twice in my headset microphone and through the webcam mic, and that's what's causing the echo. And at the one point, my wife walked in. She did not put her seatbelt on, and we had a discussion about some odds and ends, although I've done my best to cut that out. It wasn't anything important or significantly revealing of anything at all, but what the heck, I got rid of it. So I said flying, quote, air quote, flying a twin-engine Beech Baron, which I like for a lot of flights, and especially in the winter months because it has full de-icing capability. And when you have live weather in the sim, it's going to freeze, it's going to ice, your plane's going to ice over. And if you don't have a de-icing, you're going to crash. So that's why I like this plane as opposed to the more nimble single-engine Beechcraft Bonanza, which only has prop de-icing, which doesn't do you much good if your airframe's icing over, you know, your wings and whatnot. So you can see, I just talked to my wife there. I brought that chart up briefly. You could see the flight plan there, the route we're taking. I haven't flown a lot at night, but actually it's pretty dramatic if you can fly somewhere where there are lights. And as you'll see, the approach into O'Hare at night is very dramatic because Chicago, as my wife noted, is flat. She, from California native, was unused to a flat landscape. That's what we Midwesterners grow up with, and we don't know that there are mountains. It's like not knowing the world is round. Well, anyway, she didn't know the Earth was flat, so, or could be flat at least to the eye. So anyway, I'll let him talk.
Skywatch 3133, contact Chicago Center on 128.5. Good day. Squawk 0611 Beechcraft Oscar Hotel Alpha.
That echo is really annoying. Sorry about that. Anyway, so I'm flying this approach because I did it the other day not very well. Um, and as I said,
Expect ILS runway 28 left approach.
in live weather, you can get ice and so forth, and you can also get pretty stiff crosswinds. And on final approach. And I had live weather yesterday. Don't have it quite now. There is the actual approach, and you can see the gradual step down in altitude as you near the runway. Anyway, it seemed like the crosswind was blowing me off course. It looked like I was headed for the control tower, not 27 left. So I had to abort the autopilot and fly in the rest of the way myself, which I did, but it was with a lot of wiggling and waggling and zigging and zagging to get lined up properly. And you know, in retrospect, I probably should have just boarded the approach and gone missed approach, which you can do on autopilot with this avionics.
This is the Garmin G1000
NXI, and it will do a lot of things, and I don't know a tenth of them, but so here we are already on final. This was actually a 40-some minute flight, and I cut it down, cut the video, edited it pretty heavily to just get us there, because the point is just landing. Anyway, I was talking about the G1000 NXI, and can do a lot of things. One of the first things you want to learn about it is how to fly this kind of approach, which is not an ILS approach. It's not ground-based. ILS is Instrument Landing System, and it's based on a a transmitter at the runway, one end or the other of it. And in this case, it's all satellite guided. Eyes in the sky, whatever, are guiding us to the runway based on who knows what kinds of calculations. They're way over my head. But this system will get you down to the runway following that approach path that you can see in the chart there on the bottom. And it will step down the altitude at properly at each place if you do it right. That means you have to load the approach properly. You have to, at some point, you have to arm VNAV, which is vertical navigation, and then you have to remember to actually activate the approach. So there's several things to remember to do, and sometimes I've forgotten them and wondered why things went wrong. On this night, everything actually goes pretty well. So I really enjoyed looking at this view at night of Chicago, and it's a knockout in the sim, and it's a knockout in real life, I have to tell you. The first time I ever really saw it was in college, and I was flying in at night, and we flew this approach, but coming from the west, Des Moines, so we had to circle around to land in this direction. And I got a wonderful tour of the Chicago lights, never forgotten it. And this, out of the sim, is comparable, I have to say. doesn't exactly give me goosebumps, but it's pretty neat. You can see there's another plane over there. Got actually a good good view of the fuselage body as it went by, and so there's a lot of air traffic, and a lot of it generated by the sim, and some of it actual other simmers. There it goes. See Midway Airport over there, Loop. One thing that's interesting to me is I never really knew for what the altitudes were as we descended and how far above the ground we were at, at what point. And by watching the altimeter in this sim, I can see, we're just a few thousand feet above the city, which is still higher than the Willits Tower by several times higher, and it's quite a view. So anyway, I think I just lowered flaps a little bit there to slow down. That was that noise, I'm pretty sure. So slowing down, and still lined up with the runway tonight, like yesterday afternoon. Never heard of an airline named Lindbergh, but I think that's just Microsoft's sense of humor or something. They will talk about actual airlines, Southwest, JetBlue, United, American, and it has nothing to do with real-time actual flying.
Cleared to land runway 27 left Beechcraft Oscar.
So that was the wind 204 at 8. That means wind out of the 204 degrees would be kind of southeast. So it's actually a crosswind, sort of a crosswind, but also kind of a tailwind, I guess. 204 at 8, that's 8 knots. And I have to go back and watch the recording of the other flight. But I think the wind was a lot stiffer. It was out of 290 degrees. I think it was 29. But somebody said it was 194, which to me means 19.4 knots, which is very stiff. So if that's the case, I think I was being blown off course. Anyway, I went back to this approach because I wanted to see if I would get blown off course again and what I would do about it. But it's not happening. In fact, as you'll see, the weather just isn't here right now. Live weather has had some outages. I don't know whether they're in Microsoft Live Weather for the sim, and I don't know if they're intentional or not, but it isn't there tonight. It's not really this clear night in Chicago. That is not the real weather out there. Anyway, on final approach, I'm going to come off autopilot shortly and land the rest of the way myself. Always have a debate about when to do this. There we go. So that ding was meaning the autopilot was just turned off, the little click, and now I'm playing around with the throttle, trying to descend, but I don't want to stall. Fortunately, just staying pretty much in line with the runway without too much trouble. I have to do a little bank to the right there. Here comes a stall warning. Throttle up to avoid that. And get down to the runway and just cut the throttle, raise the nose, no flare, and we're down. And now I'm going to taxi to the gate. These blue things, that's my cheaters. That's the taxi ribbon that you can add if you want some help. And I need it in these big airports because I don't understand the instructions at all. And frankly, the road signs aren't very good. They aren't up high where you can see them along the runway. I don't know how anybody knows where they're going in these places if they haven't been there before. They'll give you a string of things like Alpha, Alpha, Bravo, X-ray, blah, blah, blah. Pick up your groceries tomorrow or whatever. Phone numbers. I don't know. I can't follow it. So anyway, here we are at O'Hare. I say this flight actually took me about 40 minutes, but we're only at about 16 minutes at this point, thanks to my remarkable video editing. So I'm just going to sign off with what the flight controllers always say at the end of a transmission, and that is good day. I'll say it again. Good day. Bye.